This is a story of when I joined Myron Olson in his float plane to Yellowknife.
So we're at Fort Langley Airport. We're going to be taking off to Yellowknife today on the 26th of June. And we're in Fort Langley, BC right now. We're going to be taking this plane right here. That's the 185 float plane. We're packing in right now. Alright, it said that it's going to be lots of bugs up there and there's going to be daylight for 24 hours. We're hoping to leave by 4 o'clock. And the aircraft we're taking is Foxtrot Quebec Juliet uniform.
It was my first time going up to Yellowknife in the Northwest Territories, so I was pretty excited.
Oh, I think I'm gonna sneak on the answering machine and call it a day one of these days. I don't know the new accountant well enough.
Dale worked at the Fort Langley float plane base and used a truck to push us into the Fraser River. We dialed up a NDB frequency and found some music on there. And then we took off to begin our 8-hour journey northbound to Yellowknife. I hooked up the audio to the radio, but it was poor quality.
Actually, there's one taxiing down the beaching here at the airport now, and it'll probably be another 5 or 10 minutes for departure.
We left Fort Langley and flew over to Pitt Meadows, where we were meeting up with Daryl in his float plane down below, but he was taking some time, so we orbited about 3 times at 2,000 feet. Our buddy Daryl was finally ready. He took off from Pitt Meadows and followed us up. We made our way northbound to Williams Lake, Prince George, and finally to Fort St. John's, where we would stop to get some fuel and take a little break before continuing onwards. En route, we saw glacier lakes like this one above the mountains. This was all new territory for me. We even passed by glaciers in the mountains. We communicated over the radio with our buddy Daryl in the other airplane.
Yeah, okay, I'm just looking for you because we're on the western edge about 6 miles in the Carpenter Lake.
Myron flew while Jeff did the navigation. The nice thing about a float plane, every time you see a lake, it's a landing area.
Yeah, well, it's smaller than...
We passed many rivers en route northbound. And soon we were flying over Prince George, BC. There's another glacier that I spotted in distance. This was the river near Prince George. And this was the city of Prince George. It was my first time seeing it. This was Fort St. John's, where we would stop for fuel.
We just arrived at Charlie's Lake at St. Fort John's. And we got some fuel here. And we're gonna head off. Right now, it is 9 p.m. And we're going to go to Yellowknife. That's 4-hour flight, so we'll get there at 1 plus the hour change because of time zone. So we'll arrive in Yellowknife at 2 a.m.
Myron Olson was the leader of this trip, and Daryl in the blue was tagging along with his friend Richard from the UK, who was going up to visit Angela up north. This float plane base on Charlie Lake had fuel facilities, and this family who lived here provided us some fuel. After filling up, we were ready to go on our way. It was quite late, but it was still light. I was quite excited to fly up north because it would be the first time I would see the midnight sun. Of course, it was Jeff Dittmer's first time too, so he was taking photos. Look at all that farmland in northern BC. There was Daryl in his own airplane. We tagged along, flew side by side, and kept each other in sight, making sure no one got left behind. I looked down below to see these lines. I wonder what they were. I was told they were oil lines or something to do with electricity, but I wasn't quite sure. I loved looking down at all the different types of rivers down there. Here's some more lines in the forest. It was quite a long 8-hour journey from 4 p.m. all the way up until midnight, well, 1 a.m. local time that we got up there. And as a backseat passenger, I got airsick with all that turbulence in the mountains and being in the back. So it was one of my first times I had to use airsick bag, but I sure liked it once I got up to our destination in Yellowknife. Here was some sort of power plant, it looked like. I wasn't exactly sure, but it could have been an oil well or a facility with their runway.
Back to the uniform, so you're passing out.
Finally, the Great Slave Lake.
Back to the uniform, roger. Airport wind calm. Altimeter 2961, report 55.
Finally, we arrived to Yellowknife, a city of about 20,000 people, which is about half of the territory's population of 40-some thousand. Downtown Yellowknife. In addition to the mining in the territory, tourism also plays a big part in the economy of the city. After flying downwind, we turned left base to land on the waterway. Thanks to Myron, we made a safe landing, even at 1 a.m. There were a ton of mosquitoes once we got out of the plane. Thanks for watching and stay tuned for day 2.